Moin, Nerdmädchen und diese eigenartige Eule heißen euch willkommen zurück auf Nerdmädchens Channel. Wir spielen eine weitere Runde Everlasting Summer und gucken mal, wohin uns diese ganzen seltsamen, Erlebnisse uns wohl noch so führen. Mal sehen, ob die Musik schon wieder so laut gestellt ist. Die springt immer so laut zurück. So, okay. Also, wir sind in diesem Camp, haben jetzt schon ein paar kennengelernt. Die Leiterin, Olga und einige andere seltsame Gestalten. Bisher nur Mädchen. Mal gucken, wie es hier weitergeht. Gucken wir uns mal ein bisschen um. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here. Ja, du trägst ja auch Winterklamotten im Sommer, ne? Although, obviously, my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped it on the bed. My pullover went after. I was now wearing only the shirt. Also die Musik ist erstens furchtbar und zweitens mir immer noch zu laut. Reicht wirklich aus. That's much better. All I could do now was follow the advice and go look around the camp. I'll try to find something out in the meanwhile. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy, coming my way. Hello. Okay, er sieht irgendwie aus wie ein Kind. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men in this Amazon's kingdom.
Hello, you're new here. You must be Semyon, right?
And how do you...
Everyone knows already. I'm electronic, by the way. The real one. You can call me that.
Komischer Spitzname. Die Musik ist so seltsam, oder? Okay. Electronic was a robot character appearing in popular Soviet film and book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid called Sergei Shezikov. Electronic, the real one. Things were going from crazy to completely insane. Heißt das, er ist ein Roboter? Das wäre so cool. Vielleicht sind sie alle Roboter. Oh Mann. Alright.
Uliana also calls me Cheese.
Cheese? Why not cauliflower?
Because my nice name is Shizikov.
I see.
Let me show you around.
I accepted his offer, as it would have been much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. Hello, facepalm man. We came back to the square again. As if there were no other places to go in this camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches reading some book. Electronic confidently approached her.
Hello, Lena. Met the new guy, Semyon.
He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met in a way.
Yes?
She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced at me, blushed and went back to reading, as if not noticing that we were still here. Okay, sehr schüchtern.
Alright, let's go on.
I was at first surprised that meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but then I thought that it was better that way. Electronic's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. Warum? Von außen? Wegen dem Ding? Okay, egal.
And this here?
I know, this is where you consume organic food.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, das gibt wieder Ärger. On the canteen's porch, there stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. Oh Gott, Mann, sie hat dich auf den Rücken ein bisschen geklopft. Da war das wirklich so traumatisch und schlimm. At her side, my joking mood vanished in a blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to pull this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am.
Her over there, that's Elisa.
Ich kann es nicht aussprechen. Be cautious around her. Sagen wir einfach Elisa, okay. He was speaking in a whisper.
Don't ever risk calling her Dwashi. She doesn't like that.
Dwa heißt zwei. Also heißt der Name zwei. Und okay, es ist irgendwie ein Image-Board. Keine Ahnung, egal.
What did you say? What did you call me?
Oh, die Musik. She must have heard him. Oh, ist das Kampfmusik? Geht's gleich ab? In a blink of an eye, Alyssa jumped down from the Porsche and dashed towards us.
Alright, you managed from here onwards.
Electronic took to his heels. Wegrennen, nichts machen. Okay, sie guckt sehr furchterregend aus und da ist Kampfmusik. Laufen wir einfach mal hinterher. I decided that I had no wish to come across this aggressive Alyssa girl again and darted after Electronic. Running to the square, I lost him from my sight. But she wasn't chasing after me either. However, I really should not risk calling her that. Even in my mind. After catching my breath, I wondered why I had reacted like that. Alright, she's a girl, an aggressive one, but why run away? Weil ich es geklickt habe. Failing to find a good answer, I sat down on a bench and stared at the monument of gender. Looks like I have to kill my time alone, waiting for the dinner. I decided to go east. At least in the direction where the east would have been in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and in the teen years, I was not a bad player myself and even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of an uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running in the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl... Hey, that's Uljana. Okay, also sie ist so 14 und die anderen Mädchen sind dann wohl 18. Stand jedenfalls im Disclaimer. Und dass eine Mädchen, mit dem man was anfangen kann, 18 sind. Alright, she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me.
Hey, you!
Uljana shouted.
Wanna play?
I did not know what to answer. Doch einfach. On the one hand, it's not a big deal running for 10 minutes. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be a final one. Oh my god. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. Ach ja, er hat ja noch seine Winterklamotten an. Hättest du nicht irgendwas ausziehen können? If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Uljana's screams about my pants or about being a patsy or something like that. The evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted for no real purpose. Echt? Das war schon der ganze Tag? Na gut. Okay, vielleicht haben wir ja nachmittags gestartet. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench and threw an exhausted sigh. I'll better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to people here, right? Ich meine, sie haben eine Kantine, warum nicht? Sie hätte auch gesagt, es soll nicht so spät zum Dinner sein. Okay. You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. E.g., I feel hungry now, I care much less about where I am and what's happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? Nein. And in such case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? Wird jetzt wieder total abschweifen, oder? I can only conclude that I'm not a great person. Ich stimme zu. And it does not really matter which mechanism do I serve a jeer. Society, Matrix, or a white Pionicam. Oh. My thoughts were interrupted by the bells shimming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. Das war keine Glocke, das war eine Trompete. Aber okay. It must be a dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga Dimitrieva was there standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last I came closer. Ich habe irgendwie ihre Stimme vergessen. Die war irgendwie so streng, ne? Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I come with her. My stomach backed me up here. Oh, da ist aber was los. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Echt, das hier ist moderner, was ja anscheinend in der Vergangenheit ist, als die Kantine in der modernen Welt, aus der du kamst? Wo war diese Kantine? Egal. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with an occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a moment, we'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Dang, hold on right there. Sieht so fies aus. Olga Dimitrievna shouted at Elisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes?
Anything wrong with it?
Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Alright. Ach nee, egal, ihr wisst, wen ich meine. Oh, ach, wie ordentlich. Alyssa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. Auf einmal wieder normal. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there to Ulyana. Maybe I... Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table too. I had no other choice but to accept. Of course, there was a probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. Okay, Kotelette. Ja, es ist halt Essen. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Oh, sie hat auch auf einmal Uniform an. Hey! What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Ulyana, who was sitting next to me.
Why didn't you play football with us?
Because of my clothes, said I, pointing at the source of the problem.
Oh, alright then, eat.
Aber ich wundere mich nicht, warum du so rumläufst. However, there wasn't much left to eat. The cutlet was missing from the plate. Oh, sie hat seine Frikadelle geklaut. Ich glaube, das ist eine Frikadelle. Only she could do it. Ja, löse den Fall, Sherlock. No more precisely, none but Ulyana could do it. Give me back my cutlet.
In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you are careless.
Give it back, I'm telling you. Weiß ich nicht. Noch eins geben lassen? Ach, lass ihr doch das.
See, I don't have it.
And indeed, Ulyana's plate was empty. It seems that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Ach komm, bringen wir uns nicht über so einen Scheiß auf.
Take it easy, we'll work something out now.
She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Oljana returned and handed me the plate with a smoking hot cutlet on it. Lovely.
Here's one for the starving.
Sieht doch ganz gut aus, ne? Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... What the... Some bug! No, not a bug. An insect! Okay, ist das ein Unterschied? Egal. It got legs and it's wiggling! Trägt sie die immer in der Rocktasche mit sich rum oder so? Ich meine, sie muss es ja spontan irgendwo hergehabt haben. Okay, wow, es wird so spannend. The place fell onto the floor and broke into pieces, als schrie wie, ja, ein 3-jähriges Kind. The chair hit me hard on my legs while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but then these creepy crawlies appear in my plate. That's just way too much. You little... Oljana seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed to her. Hinterher. Es ist ja auch total wichtig. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran into the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Oljana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I was standing trying to catch my breath again. Du bist in einem Camp. Irgendwann wird sie dir wieder über den Weg laufen. Warum musst du ihr ausgerechnet jetzt sofort nachrennen? Sei geduldig. The evening was falling. Looks like I'm lost. Oh, herrlich. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better go back to the camp. However, I had no clue which way to go whatsoever. Well, gotta choose at random. Gibt's denn da so viele Wege? Das sieht genau gleich aus wie eben. Oh ja, okay. Ach, war hier nicht der Bus, ne? I strayed for quite some time in the forest and even thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the camp's fence behind the trees. Everything falls back into place. The bus is gone, mumbled I quietly. Or I mumbled vielmehr. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about it. The bus couldn't just stay here forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Außer es sind Roboterbusse. Ich bin dafür, dass alles Roboter sind. Das wäre cool. Or do they? This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least 2 explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just been off for a snack and arrived too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not a place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important how I had got here at all. And where this here was. The fields and the woods stretching towards the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. Ach komm, jetzt geh wieder rein. A strange, odd and alien world. However, absolutely not frightening at the same time. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was sometimes simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted just to have a break from it all, and only after that I would continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later. And what about now? Can I let myself relax? Jetzt wird schon abends. It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came silently from behind. Und die ist auch überall.
Hello, what are you doing here so late?
It was Slavia standing before me. In front of. Well, I was so surprised that I got a seizure. Wirklich? Und sie merkt's gar nicht.
So, you haven't caught Ilyana, have you?
She smiled. Es war normal. I nodded disappointedly and sighed.
No wonder. No one ever has.
Yes, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use of her energy than looking for adventures.
You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all.
Oh, der Hangknot. Indeed, I had completely forgot about hunger, but after the words of hers, my stomach drew my attention to itself by giving a traitorous grumble. Slavia smiled.
Let's go then.
What? Is the canteen still open?
It's alright, I have the keys.
The keys?
Yes, I have the keys to all the facilities in this camp.
Okay, sie ist vielleicht sowas wie eine rechte Hand von Olga. How come?
Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here.
Ich bin so gut. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks.
Excuse me, I would warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worrying otherwise. You go on to the canteen and I'll come in a minute, alright?
Alright. I really did not expect that much, that at such a late hour someone would be there besides me, and that somebody was apparently hopelessly trying to open the door. Without any secret sauce, I walked up to the porch. Aha! The lockpicker turned out to be Alyssa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, "Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something." Meaning? Help me open the door. Why? 'Cause I want some buns with kefir. The dinner wasn't enough. Is it really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Ilyana didn't leave you any normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. It's fine, Slavia will come now and... What? Guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then. Okay, sie kann sie wohl nicht auf. And you'll pay for this. Ich hab gar nichts gemacht. Oh. Ich fühle mich always ultra und du bist schuld daran. Oh mein Gott. Okay. You owe me for 2 already. 2? Okay. Ach ja, einmal hat der Electronic sie genannt und wir standen daneben. Offenbar sind wir schuld. Having said that, Elisa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one for? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for long.
Is everything fine?
Yeah, why are you asking?
No reason, it's nothing.
It was better if I not tell her about Alyssa. Everything's fine. I said that and instantly heard a trace of dishonesty in my voice.
Well, shall we go?
As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she didn't. We entered the canteen.
Wait a bit, I go get something.
I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my saviors. Oh. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass of kefir. Genau, was Alyssa wollte. No wonder, I bet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Oh Gott, was ist denn sonst? Nur Fertigpizza und Energy Drinks oder so? Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face?
No, just...
She smiled.
So, how did you like your first day in the camp?
Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food on the canteen, the camp leader, or the assigned hut.
It's alright, you soon get used.
Used? Nicht used to it. Slavia stared into the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think that she doesn't. Ja, traue niemanden, Semja. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence.
Do you think so?
She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here at all.
So how?
She looked at me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here.
I guess you're right.
She smiled again. Vielleicht ist sie auch hier gefangen und sie kann nicht oft sprechen, weil alle uns zuhören und... Oh Gott.
It's very good that you think so.
Why?
Well, not everybody likes it here.
Und was passiert dann mit denen? And what about you?
Me?
Yes.
I love it here, it's great.
Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Oh, kann ich worry nicht mehr aussprechen.
Well, I don't really worry.
Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get.
And you're worried yourself.
Really? Why?
Well, when someone is showing so intensely...
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Entschuldige bitte, wie ich kaue. I couldn't force myself to be... I couldn't force myself to be more careful with this girl. But why exactly her? With any local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sent chills down the spine and to the marrow. Normal, not like a neighbor. Normal, with the power drill in the one hand and subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger human you can often meet in a subway or public transport. Not like a co-worker human next table in the open plan office. And not even like a friend human who only differs from other humans in its constant assistance. All of them looked normal, as if I would expect them to be, with their own downside, but without any superpowers. Wie verdächtig. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say.
I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but ran off my feet.
I didn't miss anything while being on my own, I guess.
Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all?
Oh Gott, sollen wir dich jetzt schon vermissen? Okay. She smiled so hard that I had to cast my eyes down in confusion. Wie lächelt man denn so hart? Okay. Well, how can I know? It's the first day I'm here.
Okay, and what have you seen so far?
I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field.
And what about the beach?
Just from afar.
You should really go there, or let's do it together.
Dann kannst du wieder dein Bikini anziehen. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is not how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange just for me, but for them it is native. Maybe I got thrown into the past? Yes, it would explain a lot. Can I ask this stupid question?
No.
Okay. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table.
It's late. Will you find the way to Olga Dimitrievna by yourself?
Of course I will, but why should I go there?
She'll settle you to someone.
What for? Probably this question seems stupid, because Slavia bursted into good laughter. Irgendwie sieht ihr Gesicht jetzt auf einmal total anders aus, ne?
You need to sleep somewhere, right?
That makes sense.
Fine, I'll go then. Good night.
Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. Okay, ich würde sagen, hier machen wir mal wieder Pause. Dann gucken wir mal, wo uns Olga nächstes Mal zuweist und ob wir morgen mal irgendwas rausfinden, weil bisher war es ja irgendwie nichts. Das war euer Nerdmädchen. Macht euch einen schönen Tag und wir sehen uns oder hören uns.